it has been a couple of weeks since I realized that my levels were off the charts, so today we're gonna retest them and see where we're at. One thing we know for certain is that I still have a ton of algae happening fairly quickly, so my phosphate levels are probably elevated. I'm not gonna test that just because I just don't feel like it. But other than that, as you can see, there is a lot less starfish. I would say that our Harlequin shrimp has probably taken care of about 50% of them already, and it's only been about a week. So he is definitely chowing down on those fairly quickly, and it's only a matter of time before we have to decide what we're gonna do to keep him fed. There he is right in there just munching away. This is his usual hiding spot that I've been finding him in. Fishies are all happy, loving life, and our hammer colony over here just continues to just expand massively. I don't know what happened to it, but the growth spurt that it had is incredible. I also want to take off this pump and clean it. I'm gonna go ahead and brush the tip of the two nozzles on the display. Those seem a little clogged up as well. I don't know if the brushing was gonna help them at all, but it's worth a shot because I feel like the flow is getting a little bit restricted. Could that be why I'm getting excess, algae? Maybe. Flow is definitely a good stopper or helper to reduce excessive algae, so that could be it. So I just want to make sure I go ahead and do that. Or I mean, that might not necessarily be it all the way, but that could definitely be an additional reason why I'm getting buildup. So I'm gonna just brush those off, and hopefully that helps. I'm gonna do the pump first, so that way it can, I gotta be careful with the clownfish. And, oh. All right, come on. Get off the glass. There we go. That way it can soak while we test. Yucky. Super gross in there. Yeah, this guy's definitely working overtime. All right, so I'm going to use white distilled vinegar. I know a lot of you guys use citric acid. This is just what I use. Again, I don't do this. I do this like once a year. I know it's not as good for the pumps, but I don't do it that often, so it's whatever to me. But I'm gonna do like a 50-50 mix. It's real dirty. Let me give it a little extra little splash. Mix it all about. Great. Now I'm gonna just let it cook in there. There you go. Now you can see how yucky it is. Real bad in there. Look at the poor little blades. And look at all the little bubbles. I always gotta put a glove on because my clownfish actually hate me, and they just apparently don't know that I am the one that feeds them. Most of the time. My mom feeds them too, but yeah. They don't really care. I'm actually gonna see how this works with the pumps on to see if we can get a little action going here. That is not really doing much at all. All right, let's see if we can chip a little out. I turned the pumps off because it wasn't really working out for me. Let's try not to break these off the freaking wall. Sometimes you just gotta use a couple different tools to get the job done, And then hopefully the fishies come in here and pick off the rest. That opened up that hole significantly. Nice. Okay, this guy. Oh yeah, there we go. It's gonna be like a windstorm in here after this. Let's see what happens. All that stuff floating around, but wow! Wow! Let's go! Alright, those two pumps are clean. Yeah! I think I gotta break this core line first. There we go. I felt it move. I felt it move a little bit, but maybe I'm going the wrong way. Wow. How though? That's righty-tighty. Weird. Ooh. Look at that. Yucky pucky. Okay. back in there you go. I'm actually having a little bit of an issue. So as you can hear, my water level is water falling in the back again. But the issue is that it is not the right level. That's why, as you can see, the water level in the front is higher than it usually is. I usually have it underneath that arm there. So I'm getting the water up to the main display tank too quickly, I guess. I have C-shape pumps in the back, so I don't know if I just reduce the flow a little, if that might help it. I only have one that's the SDC model, or the 3.0, but I don't really know that this is the best idea. So it's at 70% power right now. Maybe we go to 65. I don't know, guys. I don't know if that's gonna help it. I'm not seeing anything restricted here, so I am not really understanding what is going on right now, because usually it would be the flow is not, like, the water's not going in there quick enough for it to pump it out. But it's not restricted, so I don't understand it. I took the filter floss out to see if that was blocking it. New development, I turn off pump 2 and it also fixes the issue. As you can hear, nothing right now. And the level is exactly where it should be. Okay, so between the two pumps, the shit is sucking out too quick. I don't get it. I did a whole thing, took that pump, lowered it a notch, even though, I don't think that's the issue, so if I could fix it, I'll put it back. But it was really hard to do. I had to undo all this. I knocked over the acro thing. That's why, you know, working on the tank is so much of an issue for me these days, because one little baby thing turns into a whole freaking ordeal. Anyway, last thing to check is these guys, but like I said, they don't look blocked any more than they normally are. So I don't understand. Well, guys, you hear that? 1, I'm an idiot. 2, apparently my tank is a baby, and any little bit of a buildup on the grate is just not gonna work for it. So I did all of that for nothing when I could have just used a toothbrush to start with. But anyway, it's working now, so that's good. But yeah, I mean, I don't understand how, because I could see all the way through this time. There was just like a couple pieces of, you know, like hair algae on there. But usually that's been built up with bubble algae before, like mounds of it, and it didn't affect it at all. So I don't know why this time was any different, but yeah, I probably should have started with the easiest thing first rather than diving in the back of the tank. But all right, onwards. Let's do the alky alk first. All right, guys, last time I tested this, it was like, I'm pretty sure around 10. And I'm trying to go around 8.5. So let's see if it got lower or not. It's looking like 5, maybe 5.8 to 6. 0.58 to 6. Nice! 8.1 to 8.4. So a little on the low end, but not terrible. I'm gonna probably just leave it for now, because I think I'm gonna be taking out some more corals pretty soon, so I'm gonna let that ride. Let's see where this puppy's at. Oh man, I'm kind of low on this. Oh well, hopefully it's enough. I like to keep this around like 450. Ooh, that is looking like 0.9, 450. So that is good news. At least our levels are back in check for the most part. Alk is a little bit on the low side, but I do have a water change coming up, so that could also help improve that. And like I said, I'm gonna be taking out some corals pretty soon, just cleaning things up, so I'm not gonna stress it right now. The calcium is at 450, which is right where I like it, so we are good on both those fronts. I do have magnesium test, but I don't test that ever, so yeah. This guy just finished drying out so I could put it all back together. I cleaned out all of it, all these little parts. So it is squeaky clean. And we'll just toss it back in there. Boom, boom, boom. And clip this guy back on there. Again, I am not telling you guys to clean your pumps with white vinegar. I know a lot of people say citric acid, I think it's called. The vinegar just works for me. It's you know, easily accessible, it's cheaper, it's quicker. I don't do this often, so I'm personally not too worried about it. However, that is not me telling you to do it. I know everybody's gonna come in the comments and be like, yo, citric acid, citric acid, citric acid, citric acid. I get it. This is just what I do. Do what you do. All right, let's see. Boom, and just like that, we are back in action, baby. Still super quiet. Flourishing right now. Beautiful. My main concern was just taking off all that gunk that was on there. I did take off the coral line if it was causing blockage. However, just like that thin layer, I didn't really worry about it. Been a while since I've put in some offer reef, so let's do that. This blue sponge has basically taken over that whole acro there, killed it, and isn't doing anything because it's so high in the tank you can't even see it unless you're doing it top down. So what I'm thinking of doing, hear me out, is completely removing this whole chunk of dead acro and blue sponge there. That way I can have that space open for new acros. Right now, changing things up a little bit is I think what I need, because everything is just like, has looked the same for so long and it's just blah. I don't know. These zoas here, I used to have a beautiful zoa garden, and this one kind here is overpowering. I forgot what they were called, but it just pretty much wiped out all the rest of them, which really sucks, because if you guys go back to my videos like a while back, I had this thing looking really, really nice with a ton of different colors. The thing is, I don't know which ones are stronger than these. Like if I got other ones that are brighter and put them just in the center there to try to, you know, brighten things up a little bit, make it a little bit not so blah, maybe that would help. But I don't know. I got a couple King Midas here, but I used to have Bam Bams, then they got taken over by the Chalice, which I can't break off fast enough. I have the White Zombie Zoas here growing great. I don't know what's gonna happen when they kind of interact. Yeah, I just need to change things up. I like how this side of the tank is looking for the most part pretty much just like right here. That looks great. The hammers and the frog spawn, once that opens up, those look great as well. This finally just finished dying off, so again, maybe more places for acros if we do that whole like top portion acros potentially. I don't know what to do here. I am just kind of trying to figure out how I can change things up without, like, I don't want to restructure the rock or anything like that. That's not happening. But potentially finding spots where I can switch up the coral placement and just bring more to the tank. Just switch it up, make it brighter again. I don't know. Or maybe since the Euphilia is doing so good here, maybe like this bottom half is Euphilia, more Euphilia, because I like how they have movement to them. And then over here is the acro side. That's also an option. Right now, I'm just throwing around a ton of different ideas in my head about what I could possibly do without being too like invasive into the rock structure. Again, I'm trying not to change the main layout of it, but just see where I can change the coral, because I don't really love the tank anymore. I mean, I love the tank, but it's just like I don't know how to describe it. I mean, I'm sure some of you guys who have had a tank for a long time might understand what I mean, but basically, like, I don't know, I used to see pictures of my tank and be like, damn, that thing is nice, like so many bright colors, it pops, it looks insane, and now it kind of just looks like muted. I don't know. Yes, of course, it's still beautiful to other people who don't have reef tanks, haven't seen it, or it's not their tank. But to me, it looked so much better before, and now I just need to try to get back to that place of like bright, colorful, beautiful tank, and I'm just trying to figure out the best way to get there. I guess the moral of this video is sometimes try to do the simplest things first to fix issues rather than, you know, tearing apart everything to not fix the issue. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Later.